Hello, and welcome back to Timeless Sagas. I'm your ever-curious historian, here to take you on yet another fascinating journey through the annals of time. Today, we're going to delve into the rich and complex history of a nation that has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, survived invasions, and endured the test of time, Ukraine. So, grab your favorite beverage, find a comfortable spot, and let's take a trip back in time to where it all began. As we kick off this chronicle, it's important to remember that the history of Ukraine is a tapestry woven with threads of myth, legend, and fact. Our first stop takes us back to the 9th century, an era when the Varangians, Viking warriors from Scandinavia, sailed their longships across the Baltic Sea, down the rivers of Eastern Europe, and into the heart of what is now Ukraine. Led by their legendary chieftain, Prince Oleg, these intrepid explorers established the Kievan Rus, a federation of Slavic tribes under Norse rule. The Kievan Rus would lay the foundations for the Ukrainian identity, and its capital, Kiev, would become the cradle of Slavic civilization. Fast forward to the 10th century, and we find ourselves at the reign of the illustrious Prince Vladimir the Great. He was a ruler who knew the importance of unity, and understood that to maintain his grip on the diverse tribes of the Kievan Rus, a common religion was paramount. In a move that would shape Ukraine's destiny, Volodymyr chose to adopt Christianity from Byzantium, bringing the Eastern Orthodox Church to his people. This decision would have far-reaching consequences, as it not only strengthened ties with the Byzantine Empire but also set the stage for centuries of religious and cultural divide between Orthodox and Catholic Europe. As the Kievan Rus flourished, so too did its rivalries. Enter the Mongols, a fearsome force from the east, who swept across the Eurasian continent in the 13th century, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Under the command of the infamously brutal conqueror Genghis Khan, the Mongols tore through the Kievan Rus, razing cities and decimating populations. The once mighty federation shattered, as its remnants fell under the yoke of the Mongol Empire. But history, as we know, is a tale of resilience. Amidst the ashes of destruction, new powers began to rise. The Principality of Galicia-Volhynia, a western part of modern-day Ukraine, emerged as one of these powers. Under the reign of the ambitious Prince Daniel Romanovich, the principality achieved a brief period of glory in the mid-13th century. However, it was not meant to last. The encroaching influence of Poland, Hungary, and the Teutonic Knights soon led to the fall of Galicia-Volhynia, with its lands eventually divided between Poland and Lithuania. The late 14th century saw the rise of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, a vast and powerful entity that would dominate Central and Eastern Europe for centuries. As part of this union, the Ukrainian territories witnessed a cultural and political clash between the Catholic Poles and Orthodox Ukrainians, laying the groundwork for a struggle that would continue for generations. Now, let's jump ahead to the 17th century, and enter Cossack hetman, Bohdan Khmelnytsky. This charismatic leader of the Ukrainian Cossacks, fierce warriors who lived in the borderlands of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, ignited a rebellion against Polish oppression. His military campaign would lead to the Treaty of Pereyaslav in 1654, which saw the Ukrainian Cossack state, the Hetmanate, pledge allegiance to the Russian Tsar. This pivotal moment in Ukrainian history would solidify the bond between Ukraine and Russia, a bond that would be both fruitful and tumultuous. The centuries that followed were marked by a constant tug-of-war between the great powers of Europe, as they vied for control over the fate of Ukraine. The Polish, Ottoman, and Russian empires all claimed their stake, carving up the territory and shaping its destiny. The 18th century saw the emergence of a cultural revival known as the Ruthenian Triad, led by the philosopher Hrigori Skovoroda, which aimed to preserve and promote Ukrainian language, literature, and tradition. As the 19th century dawned, Ukraine found itself under the rule of the Russian Empire. The Industrial Revolution swept through the land, transforming the agrarian society into an industrial powerhouse. While some Ukrainians prospered, many suffered under the policies of Russification, which sought to assimilate the population by suppressing the Ukrainian language and culture. This oppression would foment a growing sense of national identity and resistance. The 20th century would prove to be a crucible for Ukraine, as it became a battleground for the First World War, the Russian Revolution, and the subsequent fight for independence. It was during this time that the short-lived Ukrainian People's Republic emerged, a fleeting moment of freedom before the Bolsheviks of Soviet Russia seized control. Under the iron grip of the Soviet Union, Ukraine faced immense hardship. The forced collectivization of agriculture led to the man-made famine known as the Holodomor, which claimed millions of lives in the early 1930s. Later, during World War II, Ukraine would once again become a theater of conflict, as the Nazis invaded and fought the Soviets in a brutal struggle for control. The war left Ukraine devastated, but it was rebuilt under the Soviet regime, becoming an important part of the USSR's industrial and agricultural heartland. As the winds of change swept through the Soviet Union in the late 20th century, Ukraine embraced the opportunity to reclaim its sovereignty. In 1991, following a national referendum, Ukraine declared its independence, marking the birth of a new era for the nation. Since then, Ukraine has navigated the challenges of post-Soviet life, grappling with political turmoil, economic hardship, and the ongoing struggle for a definitive national identity. The 21st century has seen the country face the tumultuous Orange Revolution, the Euromaidan protests, and the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine, as it continues to balance its relationship with Russia and its aspirations for closer ties with Europe. And thus, we arrive at the present. The story of Ukraine is a testament to the resilience of a people who have weathered countless storms throughout history. It is a saga of both triumph and tragedy, woven together in the fabric of time, and it is a story that continues to unfold. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history of Ukraine. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to Timeless Sagas for more captivating tales from the annals of history. Until next time, keep exploring, and remember, the past is never truly gone, for it lives on in the timeless sagas of human history.